All right, welcome to the Top Keys. Today I'm going to do part 2 with Rohit Mathur. So how can somebody contact you if they like this podcast? And who do you represent and why are you here today?
Yeah, bridgemarketplace.com, also ahoalending.com. You can contact us by going to our website.
You know, you've recently become a partner, but how long have you been in this space?
I've been in lending and banking for the last 15 years. I was a banker at Citi for over 10 years.
And you had a full head of hair?
When I joined, I did have a full head of hair. So like my first picture at Citibank, like the ID card actually has the full head of hair.
Okay.
And it's funny because...
Who was the CEO back then?
When I joined, I think was the day that they... I think they got rid of Vikram Pandit.
Right.
So they were trying to keep the number of Indians the same. So they said, okay, Vikram's out, but we'll get this associate in. And so they kept the number of...
I went to a reception event and he was the CEO, right? And you had one half of the audience talking about how great, the Indian American community, all that. Yeah. And then the other one saying, the guy just dropped me off in a cab. And the guy who's the CEO of Citibank looks like the guy who just dropped me off in a cab. Anyway, it's Manhattan. It's a great city to be a part of. You guys are based out of there. But let's dive into hotel deals. So hotel deals are broken up into what? We got acquisitions.
Yep.
Right? So buying a hotel, we've got ground up. Those are two big categories. And then on the side here, we've got like PIPs, renovations, refinancing. What's the easiest? What do you have fun with?
We like ground up because it's the hardest.
Okay. So you like to be challenged.
Anyone can do the easy stuff, right? We like the hard stuff. So ground up financing has been one of the hardest things to get financing for over the last few years.
Sure.
There's a lot of risks. Costs have gone up. There have obviously been external factors that have impacted, just the way that ground up construction is done. But we like that because
it's challenging. But I feel like the average AHOA member goes to the local community bank.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they've been doing.
Yep.
And that is it getting harder?
Yes. And so like the local community bank used to be financing, 70-80% of this stuff. It's now in the teens.
And the community banks, were they doing 504-7A, USDA?
There were some of those, I think with the slightly smaller deals, so like sub 15 million, 504 works really well. But because of the cost of construction and just the cost of some of these flags has gone up, it's very hard to build a hotel in 15 million bucks, right? And so you need, exactly. So now you need 20.
You can build it without the furniture, right?
Yeah, you can do it. You can build a half a hotel. But now it's 25 million bucks, and so the 504 program, while designed really well for what that was, 10 years ago.
Right.
Today, that 504 program doesn't really lend itself well enough to get to a higher leverage point on a $25 million hotel. Right. And so that's why there's been a lot of private debt in the market that's been very effective.
There's a lot of money out there, right?
There's a lot of money out there. We're trying to, there's a lot of money, as everyone can probably read in the news on private debt, and then people are putting money into data centers and all that. But there's a lot of money in the kind of in that space. What we're trying to do is bring that money to the hotel owner that owns 3 or 4 hotels. Right. And I think that's still a huge gap, which is why our name
I feel like traditional financing with a local bank or regional bank is kind of like like a marriage, right? You got to get to know each other. You got to continually communicate, right? Yeah. But now CMBS is like having there's good and bad, right? It's like dating, right? There's good things and bad things. So what is CMBS, like what is it? And do our hotel, you've done over 100 loans.
We've done a bunch of CMBS. So CMBS is a great product, only available for refinancings or acquisitions. It doesn't work for ground up. CMBS is,
it doesn't work for ground up because
that product is just not available.
Oh, really?
For ground up, yeah. So the way that ground up works is it's like a line of credit, right? You're not going to need all the money on day one. You'll need $500,000 month one, then you'll need $1 million month two, and over time, if you're building a $25 million hotel, it might take you about 18 months until you draw the entire line. The way the CMBS works is that they draw the entire portion up front, right? They want to lend you what they're going to lend you, right? And so it doesn't work for ground up because of that, and it's not available. It works for refinancings really well.
I feel like after watching a couple of these movies, and I won't make a plug for Netflix, but it feels like they're
sponsorship.
It feels like they're pushing against you, like they're rooting for you to fail in order. So and maybe that's out there a little bit.
I think that the CMBS gets a very bad rep, and sometimes for the right reason, right? But many times for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
The difference between a CMBS loan, outside of how it's sold into the secondary market and all of that, the core difference as far as a hotel owner or a borrower is concerned is with a community bank or regional bank, you can call that bank and you can say, hey, Jim at so-and-so bank, you gave me this loan. Guess what? It's COVID now. And so no one's coming to my hotel. I can't make these payments because nothing's coming in. I need you to help me out over the next 6 to 9 months.
Let's delve in a little deeper. Look, during the Great Recession, a lot of, maybe not a lot, what we were hearing stories from at AHOA, right? And I was an ambassador at the time, but banks were calling what they call mark to market.
Yep.
So they lent you $10 million based upon that hotel being $15 or $20 million value.
Yep.
And so you're capitalized over 50% coverage.
And they would reappraise it, and obviously the value.
Yeah, but if you're gonna mark to market my IRA in the middle of the Great Recession.
And I think therein lies the challenge with the CMBS product, which is what a lot of hotel owners feel. The CMBS product is sold into multiple investors, right? So there's no one person that at a bank that can make a decision on a CMBS product. It's sold to multiple investors, and so finally, the person servicing it really has to just look at the servicing docs and say, what's the rules? I have to follow the rules. I can't go back to someone, because just imagine you can't go back to every investor. Let's say it's been sold to 15 funds and it's all tranched together in multiple securities and all of that. You can't go to each fund and talk about every loan. And so what happens is there's just no room for variability or flexibility. And that's one of the biggest challenges that people experience with CMBS. That said, CMBS is interest only. It is typically very inexpensive. Right? It is, given where rates are today, we've seen CMBS deals get done in the 6s. The biggest benefit of CMBS, which a lot of hotel owners eventually they do care about, is non-recourse. Right? Bank products are 100% personally guaranteed. And CMBS is non-recourse.
So let's delve a little deeper. Like, say I have a cousin, whatever, they're 10%, 15, 20%. Do they all have to be personal guarantee?
Yeah, with the bank, they usually have a threshold of 15 to 20%. Everyone over that has to be that, right?
But if you're the hotel owner operator, and I know people are facing this as, their cousin or whatever else, relative, they don't really want to sign another additional document. Can I push back to the bank and say, look, he's only 5%. Why do he have to sign personal?
You could maybe push back at the 5%. You probably can't push back at the 20%, right? So there's a threshold at which, because at some point the bank will say, but you only own 60% of this hotel.
So can you help me with a limited personal guarantee? Like, I want to be able to hook for only my 10%.
People have come up with concepts like that of like partial recourse, right? Partial personal guarantee. That's limited guarantee, they call it. Like, that has happened. But overwhelmingly, if you look at the hotel industry as a whole, when you go to a bank, 90% plus are going to say, we want a full personal guarantee. And a lot of that is only, we talked about this yesterday with the group. A lot of that is because the bank doesn't want to run your hotel. And they're scared that, like, if there's a bad situation and you're not personally guaranteeing it, you'll just say, here's the keys, goodbye. Right? Like the example you gave about your equity. Right? If you've got 30% equity in it and the price of the hotel has fallen by 40%, you'll say, I don't have any equity left in this. The bank really, I'm working for the bank at this point. You do it. And the bank doesn't want to do that. So they want to make sure that you will stick to it in those times and kind of struggle through it with them. Right? So I understand the concept of personal guarantee, but CMBS is a great product if you don't want to provide that. If you've got a hotel that you've owned in your family or whatever for 10 or 15 years, it's just operating well. Cash flowing hotel. It has great, it has decent margins. Your debt service coverage is 1.4, and it's just a cash cow for you guys. Like, you guys get the check every quarter, everyone's happy with it. That's a great CMBS product, right? Because you don't have to touch it. There's no banker to even call you. Right? So you never ever talk to the lender. You do this loan and you're just happy there, and you kind of get the return.
But we send in, so if we decide to go with Marketplace, we send in our tax returns, we send in our profit and loss, like 2-3 years worth. You look it over and you can help us make a decision.
What we've started doing, and we won't mention AI a lot, what we've started doing with technology is that if we get the P&L of the business, and if we get some of the information, if it's a ground up, if we get the budget, we can underwrite that deal the same way that a bank would, or a CMBS would, or a private lender would. And we have our own direct lending fund as well. So the way we would. And we can tell you as an owner, this is what will happen.
So what's the new wrinkles with 5047A USD? What's the new wrinkle? What are you seeing out there in the last
I think the biggest thing that's happened, the administration had a new rule in February of this year with the SBA products, which is 7A and 504, that said that you can't have even one owner that is not a U.S. citizen. So before, you could have green card holders or people who are on a
So even
visa.
5 or 10% or 15%?
0%. 0%. So like if you've got 10 partners and one of your partners is on a green card, can't happen.
But now traditional loans, is that what they call a regular bank loan?
Yes.
That's
like
fine.
a conventional loan.
Conventional loan.
Conventional loans allow that.
Right.
And so but that
so
SBA
you're out
challenge,
of 504, 7A USD. You can't do any of those loans if any of
USDA
your
is
partners.
different, but 504 and 7A.
Okay.
You cannot do any of those without having 100% U.S. citizen ownership.
Right. All right. All right.
That's a big change.
But now the 5 and 5, the stacking, you want to go over?
Yeah, the stacking, we've talked about that a little bit. I think the stacking is a new concept that's just come out.
And it just came out July 4th.
July 1st, 4th, yeah. Right. It's like this, early July.
On the birthday.
Yeah, on the birthday, 250 years.
Technically takes effect on the Monday.
It hasn't been proven out yet. It is 2 separate loan processes.
Okay.
Which is...
So 2 separate fees.
2 separate fees, but also 2 separate, like literally underwritings that you're doing with 2 separate, it could be with the same lender. It remains to be seen if that is successful. We understand what the administration is trying to do, right? Which is double the amount of limit. So that
when
is
you say remains to be seen, it sounds like you're talking like a politician, not a banker.
We haven't seen one done yet.
Oh, okay.
We haven't seen one be successfully closed. If it's one, the second the first one is successfully closed for a hotel,
right,
then you'll be able to say, okay, I understand how this works. Typically, I think, this is just my opinion, how those will work is if you've got an operating business and an asset,
right,
you'll be able to get some, so you can do, let's say you're a doctor's office.
Right.
The doctor's office can get some 504 for the actual office purchase. Right. And then the doctor's operating business, so the practice, can go get like a $2 million additional line of credit.
But you're still paying 7-8%.
You're still paying 7-8%.
And there's no sight and end. Like we don't plan on the Federal Reserve lowering the prime rate anytime soon.
Well, actually, if you look at the most recent Fed meeting in July, the rate, the most of the governors now expect there to be a rate hike versus a rate reduction.
Okay.
Right, which has changed pretty dramatically over the last 6 months.
Sure.
I think if you were saying
that's an inflation, unemployment issue.
It's an inflation. Looking at the numbers issue, they have the I think.
Sure. So if you can get a rate now and lock in.
If you could get a fixed rate right now, I would lock it in. I would run to the bank and lock it in.
So fixed rate versus variable, what percentage of loans are usually fixed versus variable?
It depends, honestly.
For hotels, for acquisitions.
It depends. Like I don't think there's a lot of ways to fix a rate, right? Like even if you've got a floating rate, you can always buy a swap with a bank.
Okay.
And therefore fix your rate.
So you can do a ceiling and a floor?
Yes. Okay. And so it depends. You can do
And you can help us with that?
Yeah, we can help you with that. And many banks.
What's the lowest rate you've seen?
The lowest we've seen is on an acquisition deal. We just saw, actually on a refinance deal, we saw 5.75.
Okay. And the highest you've seen, 9?
We've done ground up deals at 11.5%, 12%.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are $10, $20 million deals?
Some 30.
So how is it tenable?
It is because it's interest only. It's only what you pay for what you borrow. The cost of a completed hotel, think about it this way, the cost of a hotel to build versus the cost of a hotel to complete should not be a difference of 15%. It should be far more, right? So if I can take 10% money or 11% money or 12% money, and I can take something that is $100 to build, but it's going to be $140 once it's complete, that's a great trade.
Yeah, this reminds me of the story of Coca-Cola, how they split up stock, because in the 80s, what the cost was of what you just said, the bifurcation.
Yeah. Probably before both of our times.
Right.
Interest rates in this country, even people got home loans at 14, 15%.
Yeah, my uncle's 18%. It's a credit card.
And guess what? It worked. Right. It wasn't like they lost their houses, right? They all actually probably have more equity in their houses than I do. Right. So,
So we're all whining is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, I think if the project makes sense, if it's the right project in the right area, think about the other thing when...
Yeah, but is there a project that you came across that doesn't make sense?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of projects.
You've turned down business?
Oh, we turn down business all the time. Okay. We say that there are certain projects that are just a bad idea.
Okay.
Right? But at the same time, think about it this way. When it's really hard to do something, so ground up construction, rates are high, prices are going up, the people who are building stuff right now, against all of those challenges, will have the newest product in the market in 2 years. Right?
So that's what they're banking on. The grain. We've talked about that's what they're banking on.
And so if you go against the grain, you're taking the highest risk, but you will make the highest return at that time.
So you're a Citibank guy. Are you against the grain kind of type? I thought you were go with the
No, I think most commercial investment banks are like kind of go with the grain.
Okay.
But that's why now I'm a startup guy, and despite I've kept my suits, but everything else.
So if you're between Riverboat Gambler and It's a Wonderful Life, which one are you?
I'm like right in the middle. You can watch both.
All right. I'm just thinking about what the average hotel owner, a HOA member, but you've been to probably 30, 40 shows by now, right?
Yeah.
What was your first experience with a HOA member that's sort of memorable, and what have you learned along this
first
journey?
HOA show I went to was because an HOA member told we were doing a deal with him, and he said you should go to this show. I didn't know much about the show.
What was the show?
Where was it?
Florida? Or?
No, it was before that. It was like 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And I remember going to an AHOA show, and I didn't know even one person except for this guy. Uh-huh. And I met a few people, and and that was one of the years the brands weren't there.
Sure.
So we knew people of the brands, but they weren't there. And I remember just walking around being like, what is going on?
Sure.
The food was good, so that was a benefit. I like the Indian food.
Right.
But I was just like, what's going on? And contrast that to this past year in Philadelphia, where it feels like, I'm like excited about the show, partly for the show, but because I'm going to meet so many friends and people
just like
who
a family
feel like
reunion
family
and a wedding. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's only been 3 or 4 years where I've gone from going to like literally not knowing anyone
to
basically feeling, and I think that's the benefit. I mean, that's what AHOA is, right? It just creates this community.
Right.
And that community then is very friendly with each other.
So you made more friends in 3-4 years at AHOA than you do at Citibank, right?
100%. 100%. My phone, the number of people from AHOA on my phone versus the number of people from Citibank on my phone, it's probably like 1 to 50.
Do you put in Bharat AHOA and then Citi?
Yeah, I don't have to put the city lines in, but I put in notes to remember everyone.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out. How do they contact you if they need to?
Yeah, just go to bridgemarketplace.com. My email addresses are mathur@bridgemarketplace.com. You can always reach out to Bharat and others. They've got my cell phone number. We're happy to talk to anyone. Advise you on what we think is the best way you can get financing or lend to you directly from our fund. That's great.
Thank you.